Guys, Ambush whatever here, back on our video, and for today, I'll be doing a new part of What If Deku was in the Misfit of Demon King Academy universe, part 7. I hope you guys enjoy this series, and if you do, please like the video, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. But with that out of the way, let's begin the story. We last left off with Izuku consulting Koda about about his parents and their passing, which through the training camp, Izuku and Koda became like brothers in arms. Basically, Koda looking at Izuku like a big brother, and Izuku looking at Koda like a little brother. And actually, Koda participating in training as well to become a hero in the future, to be like Izuku, be a symbol that everybody could rely on. Which when Koda asked Izuku, what training should I do, Big Brother Izuku? Izuku says that, well, I recommend that you train first that what your body can handle. For example, some jogging as well as push-ups and sit-ups, which until you reach your limit, and I do mean your limit, and say to me what your limit is after your training, which Koda trained for, like I said, for jogging, push-ups and sit-ups and squats, which let's just say that let's say Koda did 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, and about 15 squats, which Izuku says that that's your limit. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Tomorrow you're going to add +1 to that to make your body be more stronger, and every day when you feel like your body is adjusting to the training regimen quite efficiently, add a little bit more weight or a little bit more of a challenge to your training, for example putting weights on, or as well as upping the ante, or upping the reps, you could say, the amount of, or bringing up the amount of times that you do a certain job. Like for example, I usually do a hundred push-ups, which if my body, let's just say that if my body, is adjusted to doing 100 push-ups daily, I add about 10 or 15. But for you, Koda, because you're just a kid, I recommend you to add one. Just add one, which Koda starts training with Izuku from now on, which sh- which Koda is always amazed that Izuku is doing these sorts of feats, like putting weight on his back, like putting a mountain on his back and stuff, which even the Wild Wild Pussycats are really, really impressed about this. And let's just say that Class 1B are shitting their pants again and again when they see Izuku saying that, don't mess with Midoriya, don't mess with Class 1A, don't mess with Midoriya, don't mess with Class 1A. Which they always say that to themselves. Which, what happens is that eventually their training arc, their training ended on the last day. Which on the last day, Mandalay says that we are going to be doing a scare tactic, yeah, a scaring maze. Which class one B will be the scarers, and class 1A are going to go through the maze, or to the obstacle, to the, yeah, to the, not the maze, to the obstacle course, you could say, to the to the course, and whoever gets scared the most, is the winner. Which Class 1A, because of them being with Izuku so much, excluding Ira, Tokoyama, and Kirishima, they they essentially became, less scared than the canon version of them. They didn't, become scared and, almost kill the person, to be fair. If I was in that situation, I would punch somebody. And But for Ira Tokoyami as well as Kirishima, they what they did is that because of being with Izuku and training with him so much in the other world, which is the Misfit of Demon King Academy universe, they learned that nothing scared nothing really scares them anymore except for death as well as um as well as let's just say as well as women because um the when Kirishima accidentally um accidentally insulted Sasha by saying that she's fat, which saying that she's fat. Well, she invoked the wrath of a woman. Kirishima invoked the wrath of a woman. So yeah, which Kirishima is scarred for life. But obviously, what would be an MHA which without villains attacking? Which uh Izuku noticed that Koda was missing, maybe out for a jog and stuff, which it was getting late and Mandalay was being worried of him. Which Izuku says, "Don't worry, I'm gonna find him." Which he runs off to wherever to wherever Koda would be. Which Koda was in his typical hiding spot as per usual. Which Muscular was actually there and tried to, and I mean tried, and I mean really tried to attack Koda, which luckily for Koda, because of his training a little bit, he's a little bit more agile from the cannon. He didn't get caught by Muscular easily, and uh, which Muscular says that asking Koda, do you know Izuku Midoriya? Which Koda doesn't say anything because of if he says something, they will use it against him and stuff like that, or they will go after for Izuku. Which which when Izuku arrives, Izuku says, looking for looking for me. Which obvious the reason why he said that is because Izuku heard what Muscular said, and looking he was looking for Izuku Midoriya as well as Katsuki Bakugo. Which which what happens is that Izuku just fights with Muscular essentially, which Muscular doesn't have a chance in heck. Doesn't have a chance because reason being, first off, you're fighting a well-built Izuku here and a most OP and a very OP Izuku by the way, which Izuku just punches Muscular and he can feel like a hundred islands just crash into him, which said, "Oh, that hurts, that hurts." Which Muscular tries and I mean tries to punch Izuku, but Izuku Izuku just knocked him out, lights out essentially. And yeah, so what happened is that Izuku knocked out Muscular, and Izuku says to Koda that Mandalay is looking for you, which you should go back to the you should go back to the with Mandalay. Which Koda nods his head, and they run off. And which Koda luckily Mandalay didn't got injured that badly as well as Pixie Bob. Which yeah, Tiger wasn't that afraid that much, or should I say that not strong. But yeah, so they fight against I forgot Magne, Magne, as well as Spinner. Which when they fought against them, which they actually had a decent chance. To be fair, they had a decent chance on fighting uh Magni as well as Spinner because when they looked at Izuku, they were being outdone, you could say. So, being having a pride of a hero, they in the training camp they actually trained with Class 1A, and being let's just say being a little bit more let's just say hands-on, you could say a hands-on training, which which actually they defeat muscular no, not muscular, magni as well as spinner. Comment down below if it's magna or magni. I forgot about the villain, to be fair. Sorry. But yeah, which when Izuku arrives, he delivers Koda to Mandalay, and Mandalay says, "Thank you, Izuku." And Izuku explains that they're looking for Katsuki Bakugo, which the villains are looking for Katsuki, which Katsuki was, in the forest, in the course, which luckily Ragdoll didn't, get her quirk stolen, which because of the training and stuff like that, she didn't get ambushed that quickly. But yeah, which Mandalay relays the message by via telepathy. Dobby still tries to, incinerate Shota Aizawa, but luckily Aizawa managed to dodge the attack and as well as knee him in the face, which this Dobby was a clone, which Shota was very very surprised, and which when Izuku arrives there to look at what happened because he heard the explosion, he looks at Aizawa saying that, "Mr. Aizawa, are you right?" Which Aizawa just, "I'm alright, problem child." Which Izuku just says that, "Do we have permission to to fight back against villains? Is that alright?" Which Aizawa gave it a thought and said that, "Yeah, sure, I'll take the backlash if it's necessary. I don't want you kids to die with I don't want you kids to die around here." So, which Izuku went back to Mandalay and relayed the information. Which now Class 1A can fight. Um, now Class 1A can fight against the villains. Which Izuku was looking for Katsuki. Yeah, Katsuki. Izuku was looking for Katsuki Bakugo, which let's just say that instead of in canon, the Katsuki and Shoto are together in this one, which there still are, but the one that got captured was Izuku. Yeah, Izuku was captured, which manga spoilers, by the way. Manga spoilers for this. The I think the traitor in UA is Invisible Girl. So let's just say Invisible Girl talk to the villains of how they got where's Midoriya, which they telephoned Midoriya. So they telephoned Midoriya. Tokoyami was actually saved by Aoyama, which when Izuku was captured, Sasha was freaking out. I mean, really freaking out because they don't know what to do with Sasha doesn't know what they're going to do with her hubby, which she just says that she said to the hero that I'll be coming with you guys if you like it or not. He's my husband. He's my husband. I have a right to be worried about him. Which no no male, and let me just say no male in the pro hero in the heroes that are in UA objected because they're scared because rule number one for men: don't piss off a woman. Their the rage or the rage of a woman is very frightening, to be fair. But yeah, when Izuku wakes up, Izuku was, let's just say, was talking to Tomura Shigaraki, which Tomura was asking Izuku why become a hero, because this is where I'm gonna be shying off from the from the original canon a little bit, just a little. shying off a little bit, which Shigaraki asks Izuku, "So, why did you become a hero, huh, Midoriya?" Which Midoriya just says, "Well, to be fair, I wanted to become a hero to be, like just like All Might, like just like every teenager or every kid out there that wants to be like All Might. I wanted to be like All Might, but when it came to thought that some things are not really as the same as being a hero, I really thought of it as saying that I wanted to be a hero not for myself but for the people. Instead of instead of looking at for myself, because when I was a kid, to be fair, I was being bullied, and no hero was there for me, which you could say I could become a villain. With that scenario over there, I was being bullied, beaten and beaten as well, which you could say that I was going to be here, going to a path of a villain, which is just one fateful encounter that you need to be on the path to become a hero. That one encounter that will save your life, which Izuku explains that when he met All Might, and All Might, seeing potential in him, actually trained him. But when he looked more into the world, he let's just say that I was a little bit pissed off at the world. Looking at it now, I could have become a villain, to be fair, but I'm just if I did that, I'm just giving them the reason why they bullied me so badly. I fought it back. I fought all of the pain, the tears, the abuse that I was being dealt with, as well as being, you know, being once quirkless because I was a late bloomer, which it was really, I mean, really hard because people don't really think of you as much. They think of you as trash, which that's what they thought of me, and I really wanted to get them back for that. But instead of doing that, I did what in revenge I did become a hero, which you're seeing me right now. Which to which Shigaraki was very surprised that he was he was almost the same as Izuku. Yeah, and everybody in the League of Villains hideout were really touched from Izuku's words because yeah, experiencing that and still having a smile on his face, saying that it's fine, which that is really proudening, and I'm really proud that Izuku did that. To be fair, and him having a smile and saying that it's I don't really discriminate. To be fair, so, Izuku continuing and saying that, well, I don't really care if you're a hero or villain. If you're a villain, it's still my job to take you down, but it's still my job to help you because even if you're a villain, you're still a citizen. Even though people label you as such, even people that are not considered to be villains, to be fair, but had the bad luck of gaining a quirk that resembles like that of a villain. Like for example, you Shigaraki, you decay people. That's a good example that people will say that, oh, you're a villain, you're a bad villain, you're gonna be a villain, which I understand that. Which, as I said before, I was in the same boat. People think rationally based on your appearance and stuff on or not really your personality or your feelings about the matter. They always think that, oh, because of this trait you are going to be this kind of person, which not, for me that's not true because look at me. Even though I was quirkless and now having a quirk, I still retained my humbleness to not flaunt my power at all. Which, yeah, it's sometimes you say that, oh, I really want to flaunt my powers, but do you really though? Do you really like seeing other people look like, oh, you're so amazing? Which, yeah, that's really the reason why I became a hero. Which everybody in the League of Villains were having second thoughts, saying that should they, should they let them arrest them and actually do for rehabilitation. Which there's actually a program for villains to do rehabilitation. Which Shigaraki undoes Izuku's handcuffs, which saying that you remind me of myself, man. Kid, come on. You remind me of myself back then. I was just alone, just like you. No hero, not even a hero was there for me, but the one that was there for me was a villain, saying that he can give me potential to be the greatest, to get back at the heroes that deem me wrong. Which, yeah, which Izuku just goes to Shigaraki and hugs him and say that, I know what you feel, man. Cry it out. It's fine. Which Shigaraki cries his balls out, his eyeballs out, and saying that thank you, saying thank you, thank you for listening to me. This is actually which Shigaraki in his mind saying this is the first time that somebody has listened to me and actually understands what I've been through. Which everybody was in the people in the League of Villains were thinking of handing them over or handing themselves in to the police and do actually rehabilitation. Which Toga as well, because yeah, it hit her hard when Izuku talked about, about quirks, that saying that yeah, sometimes people were get unlucky, saying that they get a quote unquote a villainous quirk, but in actuality you can essentially make any villainous quirk become a hero is a hero quirk, a good quirk, let's just say that. But yeah, which All Might still does the pizza delivery, which Izuku opens the door, which everybody, the heroes as well, everybody, the heroes, including All Might, were shocked, saying that, Yo, Midoriya, how did you? Don't worry, All Might. They're let's just say that they're surrendering. I talked to them for a bit and actually understand why they became villains. They actually want to be detained, which a lot of villains a lot of heroes start detaining them, not as roughly you could say, but because they're willing to be detained. They didn't do it as roughly, but yeah, they didn't do it rough like usually what cops do, like put your hands behind your back and like that. But they did it normally, you could say. But yeah, Izuku was really proud that these villains were getting, the understanding that they deserve, or yeah, the understanding that they deserve. Which everything got ruined. Let's just say that when Izuku was thinking that thought, an explosion was heard, which All for One was actually there, which which All for One battles, and I mean battles Izuku. Yeah, battles Izuku because Yeah, he lost his successor, to be fair. His successor for his quirk. Which, yeah. And All Might tried to interfere as well, but let's just say that All for One gained a lot more quirks from the time being because of how, powerful Izuku is, of how Shigaraki told All for One how powerful Izuku is. Which, yeah, Izuku just fights All for One. And All for One, Izuku asking All for One, why become a villain? Which All for One does his speech saying that, uh, I wanted to rule the world, to put the world on my fist, to rule the world with an iron, with a heart, with an iron, with an iron fist. Which Izuku got sick of All for One, to be fair, because it reminds him of the when he was back in the Misfit of Demon King Academy universe. The people that are considered as pure blooded were looking down on the people that say that they are half bred or half breeds, and not really, full I could say demon, not full demon, but which infuriated Izuku, which Izuku punches All for One with the force of 2,000 islands with him, which is when Izuku punched him, the the mask that All for One was using, the respirator, destroyed. He can't breathe. He can essentially breathe, which Izuku stops and brings All for One, grabbing All for One by his jacket and saying that it's people like you who make the world a bad place. People like you who think that they're the best of them all. People like you who think that, oh, I'm the I have the most powerful quirk ever. You're the reason why this world is in chaos, and why people are so discriminate about each other. Which Izuku gave All for One to All Might, which All for One was can't really take the quirk one for all forcefully, because I'm gonna say this in my what if, that's saying that the user has to need to be in consent to give one for all. So it negates when somebody takes the quirk, essentially. Which, yeah, which Izuku got a little bit, cooled down a little bit, which Sasha was a little bit worried for Izuku and actually hugged him, saying that, "Are you alright, honey?" Which Izuku said, "Yeah, I'm alright. Don't worry." Which, yeah, what happened next is that Izuku actually went back home and actually told his mom everything, and I mean everything, about how his experience with the villains were, and saying that they were actually mistreated by society itself. Which, to be fair, I was lucky to have a mom like you. To be fair, mom. And yeah, Izuku said to his mother, Inko, which Inko just hugs Izuku, saying that it's alright. I'm just glad that you're alright, my baby boy. Which Izuku hugs Inko back, and Sasha hugs Inko as well. Which when Izuku went home, no, not home. Izuku went home because Inko was there in the in the site, because wondering for Izuku, because it's her baby boy. So they went home. Inko, Izuku, and Sasha went home. Which Sorry for the background. Sorry, but yeah, Izuku was Izuku went back home and actually says to his mom that I'm going to hit the hay, which Izuku sleeps with Sasha, and Izuku having the thought that before sleeping, saying that this world is really just for people that this world is so corrupted with people that are so arrogant that they think that they could rule the world and sleeps. Which that's where I'm gonna be leaving it off. Sorry guys if it's a little bit short, and sorry for ranting about in the Shigaraki and Izuku part. Sorry for ranting up about that, and sorry for not uploading for a while because it's hell week for me. It's really hell week for me because my teachers were distributing and I mean just distributing a lot of assignments for us and assignments for us, so we need to, not really assignments but a lot of activities to do. But yeah, I really hope you enjoy this series. If you like this series, please like to let me know if to let me know that you still love this series. But with that out of the way, like I always say, like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys later. Bye.